Welcome to the Pink Parlor, dolls, divas, and diamonds. It is plush here. It is safe here. So, girls, come on and take a seat. And let me say, this space is dedicated to women, women issues, women values, our truths, and life lessons. And most definitely, we serve up reality with class. For tonight's conversation, we will be discussing the Bell Collective. Yes, my dears, those Southern Bells of Jackson, Mississippi are back with season 6, and you will need to clutch your pearls. Carlos Kane, I ain't gonna say Carlos King, Carlos Kane came in swinging with this first episode. I know I may be a little behind. Season 2, episode 2, has already come out, but I wanted to take my time and give you a different kind of flavor. Now, this parlor is dedicated to my ladies, but gentlemen, you are welcome. But make sure you are mindful, make sure you are demure, and make sure you are respectful. Otherwise, I'm going to have to call in Jeffrey to escort you out. Welcome back to the Pink Parlor. All right, divas, dolls, and diamonds. Y'all see the screen. Let me just ask you, do the BBWs have them shaken and stirred? I'm just asking. And I'm just thinking about Mandy and people with her similar mentality. We're going to get into that later on, but I just want y'all to take a look at Lizzo and her man. Okay, and I definitely want you to take a look at Kalani Bagsby, okay, and her baller boo. And I will come back to them. I want y'all to keep this image in mind, and you'll see where I'm going with this with Mandy in this comment we're going to talk about that she made later in the show. For me, Mandy is not a breakout belle this season, and she is definitely not an extra that is a good kind of extra. I will say that she's playing a dirty game and she's playing a dangerous game. Yes, Glenn is the ring leader. He is the catalyst, he is the fire, he is the gasoline. Oh, but baby, you had better believe that Mandy plays a role in this. She is an accelerant. Okay, and for that, we are going to have to call Jeffrey, to escort her out. Now, I don't know if we can send her to a charm school for some help, but she has been dismissed from the parlor. Mandy, you know you are dead wrong. Now, you guys know, or maybe you've been under the rock. It's okay. We're here to catch you up. Maybe you've had better things to do, work, school. I don't know. But Mandy was introduced season 6 of Bell Collective, episode 1, as a friend to the show. Now, I had already expressed to you guys that I didn't really like how she was sitting in between the woman and her husband. I don't know. You just have to pay attention to body language. For me, that was a no-no. But she was asked, well, what are you looking for? Because apparently she hadn't been too long got out of a relationship, and Latrice's husband asked her, yeah, so what do you want, a man, woman? I don't know what you're looking for. And she mentions, well, at this point, I'm just trying to get my feet wet in the dating pool. At this point, anybody that's going to act right. Now I was like, okay then, Mandy. It would have been cute and funny had she not been serious, but I believe Mandy was serious as we went on to learn in episode 1. Now I had to do her segment, or this ending piece of season 6, episode 1 by itself, because it's a lot we can pull from this particular scene. Mandy, are you going to be a mean girl? I think you are going to be a mean girl this season. Mean and messy. And speaking of mean and messy, you guys know when we go to the beauty shop or the salon as a woman, a lady, y'all know how therapeutic that can be for us. Like our stylists, They are more than stylists. They are our counselors, our marriage advisors, relationship advisors. They can be our confidant. Like your hairstylist, sometimes it does turn into an intimate relationship, right? So we see Latrice going over to Mandy to get her tresses taken care of. And we also see Tambra Cherie pull up. It starts off really light and really cute, but then we get into the mess of it all with Mandy. Now, I'm going to say this. When I first saw this scene, I was wondering if Mandy was gunning so hard for Latisha. Was that due to her interactions with Latrice last season? How her and Marie kind of ran up on her. And I know Marie and Latrice kind of had some beef, some issues, some problems that they could not resolve. Some people just like oil and water. They don't get along. You can't make them get along. It's just not that type of situation. But with Latisha and Latrice, I thought they were supposed to be big sister, little sister, may have bumped heads, but I didn't like that Latisha tried to run up on her. She was so aggressive, called her a B, called her jealous. I think she really went below the belt. So I was already thinking that Mandy was going to be back on the show, and when she started mentioning Latisha, she was going to try to play some get back. Now, if you are a friend, I think it is okay. It's more than okay to call out someone who has ambushed your friend, especially when y'all double team her and she's by herself. I think that's no more than fair. And that's no more than fair to hold a person accountable. However, you can challenge a person, chastise a person, check a person, call a person to the red carpet and restore order without having to use your body or suggest that you've used your body to do so. You don't have to do that to get back at a person or to put them in line. And I just wonder what happened to the days of women resolving issues or calling out issues and really not being so focused on get back, but no, let's address the issue and let's find some sort of resolve. So I kind of felt like she was going to come back on the show with an agenda to avenge her friend. And that's okay, but you don't have to do it through your body and through somebody's marriage. But Latisha and Glenn have already made it known. They have already exposed their soft white underbelly, which is their marriage and infidelity, particularly Latisha. So people know what angle to come at you with to get back at you or to whip you into shape or to bring you to your knees. Anywho's, a few things stood out to me with this scene. Tambra kind of got down to it, questioned Amanda. Latrice is like she didn't know anything, and she kind of did seem a bit uncomfortable. And one comment that Amanda made that stood out to me was, you see me and then you see what he's married to. All right, Mandy. Don't go too far. Don't go too far and stay too long. Now, y'all know at the beginning of this snippet, I showed you guys a few BBWs in relationships. And they're attractive women with conventionally attractive men, so to speak. And sometimes I think people really kind of have an issue with plus size or curvy women getting into relationships, particularly with men that other people find attractive or who may not be plus size themselves. And so when Mandy made this comment, that let me know she's kind of aligning herself to kind of compete with Latisha to hurt Latisha. So that further confirmed my thought that she was on there to not only get back at Latisha for the sake of her friend, but I think some people really believe that they are better than or more desirable because they may be slimmer. They don't have to do anything else but look good. And I look good because I'm slimmer or smaller than you. But Mandy, you can't compete where you don't compare. You being real messy. Again, if you want to check someone about how they address your friend and how they were aggressive with your friend, do that. But don't come at somebody's marriage and position yourself to kind of compete with a person and almost body shame a person, so to speak. Come on now, Mandy. We can be a little smarter than that. I thought we were going to hear about her business, and hopefully she would be the next Belle. But you really took a nasty turn, and you took a low class bit of a turn. I'm just going through my notes here, guys. Okay. Another point that I want to call out that I hate to see happening between women is humiliation. Humiliation tactics, humiliation rituals. Why is it that we need to humiliate each other? That just seems to be the growing trend, and it seems to be what people are looking for. And why is it that it is like the highlight to come at people's marriages and really rub it and smear it in somebody's face? It's like people have absolutely no shame. And I just found myself saying, why is it a running trend to bully the wife? Why is it a trend to have body shaming and humiliation tactics and humiliation rituals for women executed by women? And Mandy, I'm really disappointed that you played into that particular role. Is that the only thing you have in your arsenal to come at someone, to check someone? And then I'm wondering, how long have you and Glenn really been having this little flirtatious thing going on? Because apparent to the other seasons, it seemed like Latisha and Latrice haven't always bumped heads like this. It's been some recent foolishness over the last few seasons. So were you kind of flirty with him and he flirted with you, and not just flirty, inappropriate with each other, before this season or before the two of them fell out at the reunion? I need to know more. I need some timeline. I need some dates. But what I don't like is, you were gloating in that. And that says a lot when a woman got to use her body or sexuality or femininity to harm somebody else. That says a lot about your character. Another point I want to call out, and this is not just geared at Mandy, but these are some things that really resonated with me. What I pulled from that episode and those interactions. We got way too many people out here coveting other people's husbands. It's getting out of hand. It's getting ridiculous. You're mentioning, his complexion. He's kind of cute, ugly. That's my type. Listen, get your own type. Get your own type to admire, not one that's already married. Now, mind you, he is not innocent, and we will have a session for him in the parlor. But right now, we're talking about the interactions between women, and we're still discussing episode 1. I've had some catching up to do, y'all. I've got work. I started school, had to get this editing thing down packed. Child, listen. But anyways, I'm here and I'm with you and I am present. But yeah, we need to talk about that. Y'all need to stop coveting what other people have. Get your own. You miss your own blessing, your own joy, your own happiness by keeping your eyes on what somebody else has, especially somebody else's husband. And let me let y'all know, somebody else's husband or wife is not your blessing. It may seem like it. You may be reaping some benefits now, but you're going to have to pay for that. Whatever seeds you sow, you have to pay for it. So, Mandy, quit coveting somebody else's husband and quit flirting and playing around and hee-hee-hee with somebody else's husband just for get back or just to make yourself feel good. I don't know why, as women, or some women, it seems like you need women to feel better than. You need women to you need some women to be beneath you, so to speak, for you to feel good. Y'all need to get over yourselves. Now, I want to take it back to what I showed you at the beginning. Now, at the beginning, I showed you a picture, and I'm going to tie it all in. I'm going to bring it together. this very, very beautiful Kalani Bagsby. And, she has a boyfriend, Tyler Booker. And she is part of the WAG community. But she receives so much hate and discrimination online because she is not the typical standard body type. But the girl is the woman. She is beautiful, beautiful, articulate, educated. I think she's a part of a Greek organization. So she knows something about sisterhood. And she's just a curvy diva, minding her own business, showing up at her boyfriend's games, just making an impact. But because she doesn't look the way society has deemed to be beautiful, or doesn't fit this cookie cutter body image, she's received so much backlash. And I feel like we see elements of that in Belle Collective, particularly between Mandy and Latisha. And when you think about those comments Mandy makes and looking down at her body and referring to her body. So I just really, really, really commend Kalani for holding on to her confidence, holding on to her class, and not allowing, at least visibly, the negativity to get to her, because there is no one way to be beautiful. If God wanted everything to be cookie cutter, he would have designed us that way. But I think of God as just a creative being as well. So we all have differences and different features that are just absolutely beautiful. There's no one way to be attractive, and this girl here is just really breaking the mold, especially with their relationship. So when I hear people like Mandy, and we're gonna call that the Mandy mentality, the mean girl Mandy mentality, that lets me know some of y'all hate to see plus size women in good, healthy relationships. Some of y'all hate to see plus size women in relationships with attractive men. And God forbid if those men are truly attracted to you, in love with you, and treating you well, and don't have a family, living good, and just enjoying a soft girl life. God forbid. It seems like they get busy and they are ready to attack, or it's always this sort of air of wondering, well, what is he doing with her? How did she get him? Listen, there's somebody for everybody. And again, it's no one way to be beautiful. And just because you are more petite or smaller than a person, maybe you don't have a tummy, that does not make you better than the next person. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So Mandy, mean girl Mandy, body shaming Mandy, stand down, baby, and stay in your lane. And let me just say this: you over here talking about you see me and you see what he went and looking all down at your body and all of that, ma'am. If you got all that going on, you still wasn't able to keep your marriage. And if you had his attention, it seemed like you only had it for a short time. And after he, did what he did, he done wrung you out and threw you on the shelf like a used towel. Come on now. I also want to point out Lizzo and her baller boo. Lizzo has faced a lot of shame and humiliation and all of that type of stuff, those tactics. I'm not saying that's how she felt, but she's faced all of those tactics just from enjoying herself, living her life. I don't know what y'all expect us to do, just to go into a closet, ball up and wait to die and not live life. Yes, people may evolve, they may decide to lose or gain weight, but that's their choice. It doesn't mean you don't get a chance to enjoy life and enjoy love if you're not a conventional type of beautiful, if you're not a conventional standard. So what Mandy said and the air in which she said it, yeah, it was triggering, and it was something that I identify with. I know it when I see it. People will look at you and who you're with. Well, how they get together? Oh, well, she's got a pretty face to be a big girl. Well, she knows how to dress. She look good to be a big girl. Oh, you know how to put that together to be your size. Yes, I know all about it and have lived it, and will chew you up and spit you out respectfully. Okay, so that just really caught my attention. So Mandy's over there gloating and trying to lay it on heavy about a married man flirting with you. But if you had more going on, you wouldn't need that. But like I said, I also feel like a lot of this is to get back at Latisha, and she knows, because of Latisha, she knows her soft white underbelly. But this is a double entendre, and it does mirror what's going on in society. People want to align themselves, compete with other people. You covet what and who other people have. You don't feel important or powerful unless you have somebody that you deem is beneath you, that you look better than or make more money than, in your opinion. And then you feel powerful. Then you feel exalted. But if you have real confidence, and if you were any type of woman, you should feel more empowered turning down, you should feel more empowered turning down somebody's husband. I would feel more proud to brag about that. But no, I put him in his place. Don't disrespect me. What type of woman do you think I am that you can bring me the least and expect the most? What type of woman or lady do you think I am that you can come over here and play and talk to me, and you are a married man? Sir, what type of woman or low-class being do you think I am? And you know, your wife and I, we have interactions. We may not be best friends, but our circles are very close. That is something that I would take pride in, saying no and holding on to my standards. I would have been able to take Mandy more if she mentioned, he tried to come on to her and she put a hard stop to it. It's an absolute no. Me and your wife may not be best friends, but there's respect as women. I could have taken. But it's just like she kind of suggested it was a little play, a little banter back and forth. And it's just not cute, because at the end of the day, you see where he went home to.